Monkeys are thoughts.
Monkeys are thoughts. I think objectively monkeys are thoughts.
Everybody can agree with that.
Look, you play politics on a different episode. You know what I mean? Republicans, Democrats, we're not here to draw a line anymore. We can all agree monkeys are thoughts.
That's clear. That's not even up for debate. That's regardless of how you feel about AIDS.
Come on. Look, wherever it comes from, monkeys are thoughts.
Yeah.
The government growing babies. Microchips in your anus. All koala bears are racist. The ozone layer owes me money. Martians invented turkey stuffing. Y'all can't tell me nothing.
Yup. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another phenomenal episode of My Mama Told Me, the podcast where we dive deep into the pockets of Black conspiracy theories, and we finally work to prove that Morgan Freeman's hoop earring was made from some of the last remaining metals produced at the start of the Industrial Revolution. They don't make hoop earrings like that anymore. No, sir. That type of metal is rare, and only a person as old and as odd as Morgan Freeman could even still possess it. That's the conspiracy theory I'm spreading this week. I'm your host. You're now co-host. I am a co-host now because I am joined today by my co-host, a man who has been on the podcast before, so funny, so talented, but God damn it, we're adding this motherfucker in. He's wearing purple just like me. It's serendipitous than a bitch. It's going to be a great time. Give it up for my co-host, Mr. David Gborie.
I couldn't think of what. I wanted to come in with a good sound to start off this partnership, and I think I fucked it up.
It took you so long to make the decision on what the sound was going to be.
I was having because I didn't want, at first in my head I was like, more fire! But that's not right. That's not the right one.
No, that's not. You're not a more fire man, and you know it.
I know. I want it in my heart. That's why I got this purple shirt on.
Well, we got to work on your sounds.
We'll get it.
You're letting the listeners down with these sounds that you've been on, for 8 seconds, and the sounds are failing hard.
It's only uphill from here, though. That's, you know what I mean? We just start at the bottom, and that's how I do it. Immigrant mentality.
Hell yeah. This is we've been planning this for a little while now. This is very exciting. I'm glad you're joining the pod.
Yeah, I love it. I love doing minimal research and having maximum opinions.
Yeah, I'm really going to be looking to you for color commentary on a lot of things that probably don't require color, you know?
Yeah, that's really where that's where I shine. Don't worry about the noises. My commentary is all you need to worry about.
The noises, I'll take care of the noises.
Yeah.
From now on, I'll be the noise man. You'll be color commentary.
I'm not going to try. Perfect.
Well, I don't want us to dilly or dally because the conspiracy theory you and I decided was worth digging into this week, and it's one that I feel like I have circled a few times but never fully tapped into. But we said, my mama told me
HIV came from a human who had sex with a monkey.
Man.
Tell me everything you know about this subject, please.
I mean, this one is personal because I'm going to say it. I'm African, as hell. And, early 90s, there's a lot of African slander going around by way of terms like booty scratcher and things like that. And then this shit came up, and it came up so often. People are like, oh, you're from Africa. I heard they fuck monkeys over there.
Yeah.
Like we're just like it's a free-for-all.
Like you guys are just running around snatching up monkeys out of trees and fucking them.
Because also, if we were fucking all the animals, you don't think some cooler shit would have came out than AIDS? And that's not, we didn't do that, but I'm saying
Sure.
There were other cool things would happen besides AIDS.
Right. I mean, objectively, what we're talking about AIDS, there was also Studio 54 with that era of sex and sexuality, right?
Right,
so
right.
In
Who
theory,
are they
there
fucking?
should be Monkey Studio 54 if y'all are fucking the shit out of them to that extreme.
There would just be a lot of other crazy cool shit going on. Some kind of hybrid tiger babies we would have had. Are there tigers in Africa? I don't think that's correct. Some kind of crazy panther people race.
Okay, you got it.
Just
Panthers.
like a lot of other things besides just AIDS.
Right. They're only picking at I love that this is the defense you have. You guys are only picking at the bad stuff that came out of fucking those monkeys.
I'm not saying we fucked monkeys. I'm saying if we were fucking monkeys, then we were fucking everything, and there would be a host of AIDS like viruses. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I like this angle because I don't think I had ever considered the possibility, and maybe this is my own prejudgment, right?
I understand.
If I'm being honest with you, I'm a former version of myself was calling niggas African booty scratchers, and I'm not proud of that.
It was huge. I blame John Singleton.
Oh yeah, he played his part.
That was a major blow to the African community as kids. That was huge. That was huge. I had to live under that.
I love the idea of some sort of like council of African nations coming together and being furious at John Singleton for making you all a punchline in his movies.
One scene ruined most of my elementary school.
Jesus Christ.
This is a big deal.
But to that point, it had never even occurred to me that monkeys would be the stopping or not be the stopping point, rather. That for me, it was like, I've heard y'all fuck monkeys and stop. I never advanced it beyond that. But to your point, if you're fucking a monkey, you probably could fuck a more sleek, sexy animal too.
Far more majestic beings on the African plains. Have you seen monkeys? They're crass.
Yeah, no, they're not classy animals.
No, vulgar, I'd say. To be honest, but you've seen like a giraffe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's just like a lot. You've seen a gazelle.
Mm-hmm.
But monkeys, that's the ones.
One of the things that I remember from going on safari, I went 3 years ago. And one of the things I remember is as we were driving, we saw a giraffe who was drinking water. And one of the things they do, they'll dip their head in down to whatever they're drinking. And then they'll lift their necks up and spray the water over themselves, almost like a sexy fountain.
Yeah.
And it's how could you watch a giraffe do that and not be like, fuck the shit out that giraffe?
I'm saying also that tongue situation.
Yeah, they got that big old black tongue.
I didn't put a color on it. You did that.
I don't know what the color does, but I do know that to be a detail.
I'm just, yeah, there's far, I've never seen a giraffe in the wild because I've only been to the cities in Africa. But I just feel like if that was the case, there's so much better animals to fuck than a monkey.
Now, I do remember that part of the reason, the claim at least, that people were fucking monkeys is because, and part of the reason that HIV was a product of us fucking monkeys was because that monkeys are so close to human beings, that the genetic closeness is part of the reasoning for the birth of the disease in the first place, which in retrospect sort of doesn't quite make sense. I would imagine that we'd get diseases from anything we put our dick in, and the genetics isn't the part that makes it disease worthy.
Well, you know what? Okay, so I did very minimal research.
Of course.
Here's what I found out. Is that there's three kinds of there's HIV, which is just human immunodeficiency virus, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then there's also very similar SIV, simian immunodeficiency virus, right?
That's the monkeys.
That's monkeys. But then there's also FIV.
Uh-huh.
Feline. So how come all these old, dusty white bitches with cats, nobody's worried about what that was? You know what I mean?
See, hold on.
So that's how they get you.
That's how they get you, because that's the scam that was run on you and other African children throughout your upbringing. Because I'm seeing it now, because there's very clearly this other form of immunodeficiency virus sitting there that no one's ever accused anyone. And white people love cats. They love cats.
They kiss them on their mouths.
Yeah, and their tongues ain't even nice. They got them paper tongues.
They got gross, and they let them poop in their houses. That's also fact.
That's fact.
I've seen it.
Draw the party lines where you will. It won't be about cats pooping in white people's houses.
Listen, here's what I love: freedom. All right, that's what I worry about. Party lines.
But to that point, no one's ever accused anyone of fucking their cat, and that being the potential birth of AIDS.
No, it's never come up.
So ultimately, somebody is taking advantage of the propaganda machine to make this a African problem, when in fact it could very well be a Scandinavian problem. You know what I mean? It could be one of these white places where cats roam freely and do cat shit.
And I think that there's a lot of kinds of cats, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like bobcats, lynx.
Yeah.
That's in the snow. That's a snow cat, right? Snow leopard, I'm pretty sure.
Snow leopards in the snow.
That's one of them. That's one of them. I'm heating up. Give me some runway. I'm just saying, like, why was it Africa? Why did it have to have come from Africa?
I do think, I mean, and it's you're really getting on a train here, because I do think ultimately it points to the gross correlation that happened with AIDS and HIV in Black people. The very, 100%. I would argue, intentional correlation that happened there, which 100%. I'd be remiss if I didn't admit that, like, our population suffered greatly from, HIV and all the other shit, but it isn't because we invented the motherfucker. It's simply because of lack of education,
suffer greatly
lack
from
of resources.
all the stuff.
Yeah,
we
exactly.
suffer higher from all the stuff. We also got COVID. Nobody was like, it's a Black thing.
No. In fact, if I remember correctly, we were real proud not to have had it for a little while. And then...
I definitely tweeted about that. I definitely tweeted that a bunch of times. Like, just some kind of like third world immunity. Take that shit back to England. It was early pandemic. I've since cut my Twitter off. I understand.
Sure. I hope that was the sole reason you had to cancel your Twitter. You're like, dog, I went too hard on Black people not being able to get COVID. I gotta just shut this shit down.
Yeah, because I had to stand by during the whole Ebola thing. So I was like, we got one. And then it was a misstep on my part. That's fine. That's no big deal.
Look, we all were here for the first 3 weeks where no Black people were confirmed to have had COVID. And we truly thought that this was God coming back to the earth to finally make white people reap what they sow. We all remember this.
What a big month that was. We're not going to work and we're not getting sick. Oh, shit. It's happening.
Dog. I was having a goddamn field day. And then that first Black person showed up sick, and it was like, God damn it.
Yeah. That guy's going to go down in history, because that was a big letdown.
It hurt a lot of people.
That was a big letdown.
I would say that person, and I assume it's a man. I just have to assume that a man was the first one to get sick from, a Black man was the first one of Black people to get sick from COVID. I have to assume that...
It seems like some shit we could be up to.
Yeah, it's just... I have to assume that he survived it and just has to live with this feeling for forever, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I was all in too. I followed Dr. Umar on Twitter. I was like, no, this is happening. You're not a foolish man. This is real.
Yeah, I'm investing in your school, sir.
Yeah. Somebody let me get that Dr. Sebi book. It could all happen. Maybe you did cure cancer. I don't know, man. We're not going to get the sickness.
And what else Dr. Sebi said that he was curing was HIV. He thought he could help around with HIV by drinking mineral water.
All I'm saying is I've had a lot of mineral waters. I've never had HIV.
Hey, and that's pretty fucking cool if you ask me. That's fucking huge if you ask me. I don't know if the correlation
big
is
one.
perfect, but it makes sense on my end.
That's all that matters.
All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be back with more David Gborie, more My Mama Told Me. And we are back.
Anything you want, I go do for you, girl. Baby, I go pray for you. Me and you go day till eternity, girl.
Yeah, we're back here with more David Gborie, our new co-host of My Mama Told Me. We're still talking about the possibility that AIDS, HIV, was born from a human, a man fucking a female monkey. Had you read or had you heard, and this will help guide us into this research, I think, pretty seamlessly. Had you heard specifically that it was a man who fucked a monkey? Was there any part of you that considered it could have been a lady who took advantage of a nice monkey man?
No, I've never thought that a woman had sex with an animal.
Any animal ever?
Not willingly, no.
Oh, fuck. All right.
No. It's just my brain. You know what's crazy? And now, this says a lot about me. I don't know what this says, but when you say this in my head, I always assumed that it was a dude having sex with a boy monkey. I don't know why, and I don't know why.
Whoa!
I don't know what to make of that.
Whoa!
Yeah,
you know
I
what?
don't know.
You know what that feels like, and I don't mean this in a judgmental way, but it does feel honest. Is that almost feels like it's cooked in with a type of almost cross pollination of both the hatred that they put onto you, and then the homophobia that was circulating alongside HIV.
It's also very African. Yeah, I know.
Y'all invented homophobia, did you not? What?
We were pretty early adopters. No, I don't. Now it's so crazy because I've never even said that. I never realized that was the case. But when I say it out loud, I don't know why I thought that.
I mean, I don't know that it much matters, right? Like, in
did you
theory,
always assume it was a dude, a man having sex with a female monkey?
I don't know that I ever thought about the gender of the monkey. I think I always, in the same way that you look at somebody's like dog and you're not like always thinking like, that's a girl dog. You're just like, hey, look at that dog being a dog. It's sort of like it was just a monkey being a monkey.
Right.
And it wasn't, if I'm being honest, it wasn't until I was researching this shit that they were very specific about it being a female monkey that I started to feel like, okay, that I guess it's a heteronormative relationship happening between these animals.
I guess though also if you're willing to cross species lines, hetero, homo, what we're already, you know.
Come
what I
on,
mean?
dog.
You know what I'm saying? We're already over here.
I'm just trying to fuck a monkey.
Yeah, I'm whatever, man. I'm not supposed to be over here anyways. I don't think that anybody's gonna be like, oh, but it was a girl monkey, so he can still,
right.
come to my wedding.
And nobody's like seduced a monkey and was like, what the fuck? Get off me. I didn't know you was a boy.
Yeah,
that's gay.
I didn't know this was a boy monkey.
That's gay as fuck, dog. I thought you was a girl monkey.
I can't tell the difference between boys and girls monkey, not visually.
No, and in the reading that I did, apparently monkey penises, specifically like gorilla and chimpanzee penises, don't often exceed like an inch to an inch and a half. So, it's more like a button than it is a
That's
penis.
funny, because that changes A, a lot of my sexting game, and B, just a lot of... Really? Gorillas have small penises?
Yeah, gorillas are not, in terms of the ratio to their body, gorillas have a very small penis.
Did you know that before this?
You know why I knew that is because...
Tell me why. Tell me why
I'm always looking at them gorilla dicks. You know what I mean? I knew that because Bruno Mars had that song where he talked about fucking like a gorilla. And it was on his second album, not a particularly well-received album, which is why he leaned in so hard on making 70s and 80s music instead.
Yeah. He had a second album?
You think he just skipped to doing shit?
I thought he started doing
Anderson
the Prince
.Paak?
thing. Yeah, I don't know what the middle was.
So Bruno Mars has that gorilla fucking song in his shit, and then Jenny Zagrino, a friend who I think you know
Yeah,
Jenny.
shout out to Jenny. Yeah.
Jenny has had a joke years ago about the absurdity of Bruno Mars fucking like a gorilla, given the small penis of a gorilla.
Okay, first of all, sounds like that joke is very funny. Sounds like that album is pretty bad. Right? Like it was.
I'd say this: if you fuck with Bruno, it's a Bruno album. Ain't no complaints on my end.
Okay.
Bruno's my Beyonce.
Basis.
I don't give a shit what anybody says. I like that young man, so I'm cool with it. Now, when people go, hey, this is when he was making ass music, I don't argue with them. I'm not defending the work. That's just my boy.
Listen, I bought the second Crisscross album, so I'm not here to talk to you crazy.
You mean when they were like old and not kids
Tonight's
anymore?
the night? Yeah.
Oh, fuck. You were really invested.
I was a big fan. Yeah.
God damn. How'd that work out?
The one died. So, not that there wasn't a third album.
They didn't have time to make a third.
No, I think he was sick. It wasn't even like a rap. I think he was sick.
Yeah, it was not a rap issue at all. They weren't in the
No.
streets. He truly died of some sort of like health, regular
I think
health
he wasn't
problem.
paying attention to his lupus.
Fuck.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now we got to transfer into another immunodeficiency conversation. So to your original point, which I think is a very valid one, there are other types of immunodeficiency viruses.
Right.
The simian immunodeficiency virus is, in fact, the one that we believe, that scientists believe, the human immunodeficiency virus was derived from. They pretty much completely discount feline immunodeficiency virus. And part of the reason they do that is they claim, and you ain't got to trust the white man if you don't want to, but they claim that there's no ability to transfer cat AIDS to human beings.
Convenient. Like I don't understand the proof. I mean, I hear what you're saying.
Sure.
It feels like I don't know why that would be the case.
Right. Why is this special AIDS so different than all the other AIDS?
What did cats do so right?
Right. Now, I feel you. And also cats, I hate that I know so much about animal penises, but cats have those spiked
they have
dicks.
bad ones, right?
Yeah, they
They're
got
like
real fucked
dicks?
up dicks.
Are they like duck dicks?
No, duck dicks. So duck dicks are a corkscrew.
Curly. Okay.
Yeah. And the duck vagina is in a weird, like, curled corkscrew thing too. So it's like basically like following a maze up in there.
Man.
Whereas cat penises are like pronged. So they they basically are built in a way that once they go in, they like kind of snap into place and lock the cat into so they can't run away and shit.
Been there.
Hold on.
Well, that's how they get.
That's how they get you for real. You're going to jail, my man. But so to the bigger question of it potentially coming from monkeys, and this is something that I didn't realize, is that when we're saying monkeys, that in fact is correct. The simian immunodeficiency virus is believed to have been derived from monkeys and not chimps, who I had long believed to be the culprit. Chimps are apes. Whereas,
you can't fuck a chimp though.
You don't. That's not who you thought of when they were fucking.
No, chimpanzees will kill you. They are so strong.
They're crazy
You couldn't
strong.
even there's not even like a situation I think that you could finesse.
Wow, this is a completely different interpretation than I had. I always had a chimp in my head the entire time.
Oh, but I have a believe it or not, I have a crazy chimpanzee story.
Okay, I'm listening. Hold on. I'm excited. What a sentence.
Yeah, no, this is wild. And you can look it up. You can totally cross-reference it. I was at a chimpanzee reserve in Sierra Leone, West Africa, just like hanging out or whatever. And there was this one chimpanzee, and he was so angry. Like we were like because it's like a preserve. So it's kind of like a zoo. So we're behind the fence looking at him, and he's like taking these giant rocks and throwing them up at us.
Whoa.
Like these big, huge rocks. And we had to like duck under cover because he was like trying to hurt us really bad.
Yeah.
And his name was Bruno. And I remember it was like, man, that was fucking crazy, right? And that's really a weird, that doesn't even, because of the Mars thing. That just happened. So his name was Bruno. And I was always like, yo, that's so crazy. And me and my mom would talk about it sometimes. We're like, that was fucking nuts. Years later, I'm at my buddy's house in Colorado, and we're watching that show, I Shouldn't Be Alive. You know that show?
Yeah.
And they tell a story about these guys. Bruno got out and ripped off like 3 guys' arms and like a face. Like, killed a bunch of dudes.
Fuck. At that exact preserve.
The same thing. The same shit.
Fuck.
Yeah. So I've always known you couldn't fuck a chimp.
Wait,
well, since like 04. Probably it was in that.
This is like 04. Just in case y'all are like, yo, Bruno was canceled in 04. In case this comedy tour comes to your city.
I just don't want you guys to. When you cross-reference, I want you to understand.
Wait, so how the fuck did they let Bruno out? How did he get out of it?
I think he got out. I don't quite remember the episode very well. Because then I watched it, and then I had to call my mom and was like, yo. But, yeah, so I've always known you can't really fuck with chimps like that.
So here's why I always pictured a chimp. And I'm going to follow this by asking you, what monkey did you have in mind?
Okay.
But I thought it was a chimp just because of how often they have been used for films, for television. I've watched Dunstan Checks In too many times not to think that like you can't train a monkey to suck a dick. You know what I mean? Like it's possible.
Was that what that movie was about?
Not what it was about, but there were some undertones. You know what I mean?
Right. He never had pants on.
No.
Yeah.
He's a goddamn bellhop all of a sudden. It's got weird vibes. And I'll be honest, they taught him to do so many human things that it feels like it implies anything is possible if you put your mind to it. Hence, you fucked a chimp.
And there were no other chimps around, so sexually he would get confused.
Right, that's true. And now even as we're saying it, I'm starting to question if Dunstan Checks In was even a chimp. I actually think, if I'm being honest, Dunstan Checks In, and I'm looking it up right now, I believe Dunstan Checks In might have been an orangutan, which makes this entire argument invalid.
Well, here's my thing is, I've always put chimps and apes to me are different than monkeys.
Mm-hmm.
I always think of monkeys as like little.
Yeah.
And like with long tails. And like, because like in Sierra Leone, there's like a ton of monkeys everywhere. But they're like little, you know, they're compact.
Right.
That's what I always thought about like a monkey. I never thought that you could have sex with like a gorilla. They're so strong. They're so strong.
So were you thinking of like just like somebody fucked a spider monkey? Or
well, bigger than a spider monkey.
Sure.
Right? But like these monkeys, I don't like equating it in human terms. These monkeys are like the size of like a 5-year-old.
Oh, okay. I got you.
So it's not like, it's like, you know, it's big enough to do, but it's not like, yeah, I never, but like chimps and apes is like, and orangutans and like baboons is over here.
I got you. That's too big for a human to be able to pull off what.
I don't think you could do it.
I got you.
I don't think you could do it.
Okay. Well, I think your logic is sound because it turns out that chimps and the other apes actually acquired SIV from monkeys. And again, not from fucking them, apparently, but from eating them. Occasionally, apparently, chimps will eat monkeys. And then the blood and the sort of like raw meat ultimately led to the transference of this disease into their community.
Okay, that makes sense to me. So now what we're trying to figure out is how did it get from them to us?
And that's the big question, right?
Unless it got from the monkeys to us.
Well, that's also on the table. It could potentially come from chimps. It could come from monkeys. But now we at least have more players on the field of potential infectors in this situation. Us being the infectees, although by all accounts, whatever we're doing to these animals, we did something. We didn't.
Oh, we had this all coming.
Yeah, it's not like we were just chilling and then suddenly the disease found us. We did something
we got in there.
Yeah.
Here's my other question. Aren't there chimpanzees and monkeys? They're not just in Africa, right? There's some in Asia?
There are absolutely types of monkeys that exist in Asia and parts of yes, they exist everywhere. I don't know that chimps and gorillas specifically. I can't say for sure, but I do know there's types of apes and monkeys all over the world for sure.
Okay. Why did I think there were gorillas in Japan?
I don't think any gorillas in Japan, but I could be wrong about that. There is a breed of monkeys that exists in Japan. And weirdly enough, they come up a little bit in this research because to your next question, I asked myself, is it possible for a person to have sex with a monkey? And there's this website, Quora. I don't know how much time you spend on Quora.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I've been on Quora.
It's not a good website.
I was worried when you said there's a website and then you were asking.
Oh,
dark
it's just a website that's like, yep, this is how you do it if you try to pull that shit off. It's not an easy thing to type into your Google search.
No, they'll catch you immediately.
Yeah, it feels like I'm going to get in a lot of trouble for having typed it, but I did type it, and Quora basically came back with a bunch of responses. Some of the folks who asked, because I'm reading someone else's question, I wouldn't dare bring it to Quora, but they said there were some that were very outraged at this person for even asking, suggesting that he in fact was a monkey fucker.
I don't like that. I don't like that. You got to let people ask questions.
That was my feeling on it too. It's like, come on, dog. This motherfucker's curious. That don't mean he's a bad guy. He's just trying to figure some shit out.
Yeah. If I enacted everything I Google searched, I would have made gumbo from scratch last week. Like, there's all kinds of things.
And I assume you didn't. I assume you did not.
No, this is basically got ahead of me.
So some people were outraged. Some people basically answered the question with a little bit too much sincerity that almost felt like they were in fact the monkey fuckers. You know what I mean? Like they were sort of like, well, not legally, but yeah, it's absolutely possible. And if I were to do it, it would happen this way kind of thing. And then the more interesting, and this actually goes back to your original question, there was one person who was for real outraged at the idea that men are allowed to fuck monkeys and women have never once been equipped or enabled to fuck monkeys.
Equipped? I mean, they're equipped. I just think higher of women.
It's an issue of respect for you.
Yeah.
I don't know that they, and maybe again, I don't know enough. I don't know that they are equipped. Right? Because at the end of the day, the monkey...
Oh, because they have tiny
monkey
penises,
would have to be the inserter in this situation. I don't know that you can, unless you're like, strapping a monkey down and somehow keeping it erect for the activation. I don't know how you pull that off.
I mean, how do they... And I'm sorry to be crass. How do they do it in Mexico?
Fuck monkeys? What do you mean?
Well, no, with the donkey shows.
Oh... I don't actually know.
Okay.
To be honest with you, it never came up in my research.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. That's another thing. That's a whole other thing.
But I love that you whispered it just in case somebody was listening.
It makes me very uncomfortable. I wish this wasn't my first episode because we're already like out there.
Yeah, no,
we're in crazy waters.
I wanted us to take a big swing, and in some ways that was maybe too big a swing. Maybe we could have started as something a little more reasonable.
No, we're in it now. We got to get to the bottom of it.
People are making choices. So
it has to be a man to a female monkey is what we're saying.
That is the suggestion. And to the point that you brought up, it doesn't have to be a female monkey, but it certainly has to be a man with a desire to fuck a monkey, it seems, to be able to pull this off with any possibility of transferring disease, I would guess.
Right. Who's the woman you have sex with after you have sex with a monkey?
Yeah, poor lady.
That's crazy.
or guy, whoever the fuck you're
Whoever it
mushing
is,
into.
like that's a tough second. Have you been with anybody recently? Well, actually,
Well, I briefly had a thing, but
I was on safari. It doesn't count.
we couldn't make it work. So one of the things that then got me asking is this question of interspecies sex in general, right? And
Right.
sort of like how often does this happen? And according to research that I found, it's actually super rare. It's like, not a very popular thing, although you pointed out
Bestiality?
that bestiality, and specifically bestiality not attached to entertainment, I think. Just instinctual bestiality is like truly one of the most rare things on the planet, apparently.
I get that. I get because that's perverse.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's really that makes sense to me. I'm happy that that's the case.
So they did, however, in the reading that I did, point to an article about a Japanese macaw. That's monkey you were asking about. They're these red-faced white monkeys that are native to Japan.
It sounds crazy when you say that. I know you're talking about an animal.
Fucking red-faced white monkey.
That's all they hire at Red Lobster. I couldn't get a drink forever.
It's heading into slur territory for sure.
It feels like you're bad.
So these goddamn red-faced white monkeys apparently live next to something called a Sika deer. They all live on these mountainous regions together, and they have a pretty symbiotic relationship. The deer eat food that monkeys drop from the trees. The monkeys clean the deer. They sometimes use them for riding, and they eat the bugs on their backs. It's sort of like, they
Right.
hang out together and shit.
Right.
But apparently years ago, not so many years ago, but enough that time has passed, there was a video that went viral of one particular monkey who was said to have been unable to find a mate, and then subsequently decided to fuck a local deer instead. And there's actual video of this monkey fucking this deer.
I have one question.
Yep.
How do they know that was the backstory?
That's a great question. They cannot confirm that.
Like, how do they know that monkey couldn't get laid?
They're not following this monkey around for years and years, watching him just get like turned down by bad bitch monkeys. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And like we said, monkeys are thoughts, so that's even more like.
Yeah. No, it's a solid question. They do not have a solid answer for it. But one of the things that they did point to as some attempt at reassurance is they said that the monkey never technically inserted himself into the deer and was more just wet humping the back, if that makes sense.
Oh, that doesn't count. Then I've had sex with a dog.
What?
No, like, you've been dry humped by a dog before.
Oh, thank God. Thank God you clarified.
That was
because
that
could have gone the other way with you on a dog's back.
No. I can find monkeys to have sex with.
But yeah, they said the monkey was just humping the deer's back and came, and then the deer licked the cum off to clean itself. I don't know if that makes you change your mind on the results of this whole thing.
I don't love it.
Yeah, no, it's not great.
I don't love it. Somebody filmed this entire act.
That's right. Some sicko.
Some Japanese weirdo. And also, is that not, and I don't, once again, not a doctor over here. That's not enough for it to transfer.
I don't believe so. I think that whatever has to happen would have to be like happening.
Vaginal.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it certainly have to be able to enter the bloodstream in some kind of way. And that it wasn't like it was like in the spot. It was just sort of like on the back. And then it'd be like getting cum on your skin is not necessarily going to guarantee you get AIDS. it would need to like enter you somehow.
Okay, this is complicated.
Now, the only other time that any of the research I found pointed to of this kind of interaction involved male Antarctic fur seals coercing king penguins. It would basically coerce these king penguins into sexual acts, and one, after busting his nut, ate the bird.
Hold on.
Yep. Take your time with this one.
Oh, so much. It's so much to unpack. So the seals convinced the penguin. The seals were fucking the penguins?
It sounds like it, yeah.
Okay. And then the seal busted in the penguin?
I'm not sure where the seal busted. They weren't real specific on this. This isn't Pornhub. This is more just
it feels like it. It feels
nature
like X
documentary
videos.
people talking loosely about the subject.
And you said sex acts, so like maybe it was just hand stuff sometimes. Just like after the movies.
You know those penguins and their famous hand stuff.
So, and then he ate it.
Yeah. So my guess is that these seals were pinning the penguins down and just humping the shit out of them.
That makes sense.
It sounds like some of them were reasonable and let them go, and then others were not and ate the shit out of them.
Nature is so bad.
It's very bad, and it's worth noting that this coercion, whatever it is, there was one time, I meant to mention this before, that that same monkey apparently did try again with a second deer and was met with quite a bit of pushback. Like that deer tried to kill the fuck out of that monkey, whereas the first one did not.
I got to be honest, I'm lost. So we do believe that who started the AIDS? Is it the penguins?
Well, we haven't really gotten to that part.
Okay.
I'm just exploring the possibility of fucking the animals in general.
How it could have moved in and out.
Yeah, but I love that you're like, this doesn't answer my question. How does seals fucking penguins get us to AIDS?
Yeah.
And it's a fair one.
This is dark. It's so dark.
None of it's seeming to be heading in a positive direction, but it is.
No.
It is interesting, I hope. I don't know. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with more David Gborie and more My Mama Told Me. And we are back.
Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?
You are gay.
Yeah, we're back here with more David Gborie, more My Mama Told Me. We're still talking about the possibility of fucking animals and getting diseases from them, and none of it's making anybody feel good. But we got to finish the episode. You know, you got to finish what you start.
You're right. My mama told me to finish what I start.
Hell yeah. Even this, do you think she would tell you to finish this one?
I'm not telling her about this. Are you crazy? She's African. Said all kinds of slander on here.
So, to the biggest question you've been asking, the question, if it ain't monkey fucking, right? Because they're suggesting, everything I read, it suggests exactly what you said, that even the act of fucking a monkey is probably the hardest part of this entire concept. That like the transference of SIV to a person ultimately making it HIV is not an impossible thing through a sexual act, but the literal sexual act is damn near impossible for a person to pull off with a monkey or a chimp or a gorilla or any other of that type of organism.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So the big question is, how did we fucking acquire this shit, right? And one of the things that they pointed to is that although AIDS is considered, HIV is considered this very 80s disease, and I didn't even know that we had a patient zero. Had you heard about a patient zero for HIV ever?
There's an HIV patient zero?
I think some of it is rooted in a
Was
sort
it
of like
was it Tom Hanks in Philadelphia?
it was Tom Hanks in Philadelphia. That's right. That's why Denzel was so mad at him throughout
Yeah.
the film. He was like, "Man, you gave everybody this shit."
You started it. That's what I want to see. Philadelphia 2, Back in the Habit.
Wait, so he survives,
Yeah.
and he's just back out here giving more people HIV.
And then Denzel's like, what? I'm a cop now. Haven't you seen my subsequent 30 movies?
Yeah, I really focused on cop more than lawyer after this one.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I think they point to with this patient zero conversation is that it's really rooted in a type of homophobic lore. But there was an argument that this Canadian flight attendant of like the early 80s is considered patient zero because he was knowingly infecting up to 250 dudes a year. That he was like basically running around just giving everybody the business.
Numbers on the board.
Yeah.
In the 80s? How did he even find them? This is pre-Grindr numbers.
Yeah, no texting, no email. He's just
Whoa.
out in the world finding 250 dudes a year.
At the bar.
Dog. That's Usher.
And he was
numbers.
Canadian, but that is patient zero.
That is what
Or
was long referred to as patient zero, although I in my reading have been told that it is likely more born from a type of hatred for gay people and than it is like 100% certain that this dude was the patient zero. Now the person himself does exist, and it sounds like was doing this thing, but
he's
HIV,
like, yeah, no, 250, light work.
My man was
seen
not
me in
phased.
the 70s.
But computer models have estimated that the first human infection of HIV actually occurred all the way back in 1930. So he was very far from being any patient zero.
So it's sort of like we just didn't know what it was.
We didn't know what it was, and it wasn't until 1959 that we actually were able to identify the infection, and it was found in the plasma in the blood of an adult male living in Belgian Congo. So
damn it. I was hoping you were going to stop at Belgium.
No, but Belgian Congo. So he could have been living around white people in the Congo.
Have you seen the Congolese people? He wasn't.
But Belgium was taking it over. They were out there doing,
I think there was like 6 dudes from Belgium there. And then.
Oh, fair enough.
I don't know.
They were just calling it Belgium Congo, but they.
Yeah. It's how it's American Samoa. I have never seen Americans.
Sure. It's more Samoans than
it's
Americans.
A bunch of big-ass Polynesian dudes.
I got you.
Yeah.
So the more important suggestion that sort of came out of this, because no one believes necessarily that this dude was out there fucking monkeys. What they do suggest, however, is that the disease likely spread through the consumption of monkey blood or raw monkey meat, not eating monkey ass.
Not raw monkey ass.
Not raw monkey ass. They cook that monkey ass, but maybe not as well as they should have.
I mean, people do eat monkey, but they cook it. So they think it started from somebody eating raw monkey meat.
Yeah, or
getting some monkey blood on them and then
exactly. Or maybe you did cook it, but you didn't cook it properly and ultimately sort of exposed yourself to a disease that you otherwise would not have had.
That makes more sense to me. That seems reasonable.
Yeah, it's not as
reasonable
crazy
as anything that's been said in the last 45 minutes.
Sure. There are also, and this actually might be even more reasonable, there are also suggestions that HIV may have occurred, and I'm going to use this word, but I don't know it, iatrogenetically, when chimps were used in developing a polio vaccine for humans.
Okay. So for those listening who don't know what that means, explain that.
Not for you.
Not for
but
me.
For everybody.
No, I know. I know.
So I think what they're suggesting is that they were testing chimp genes for the development of a polio vaccine. and ultimately may have then exposed that same test on human beings and created HIV.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that seems if any of this to me that seems like a possibility, it's that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like man's folly, I'll bet on that every single time.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's, and I know that this is not the conversation that we're having around it anymore, but it isn't unrelated to the suggestion that COVID was sort of born from a mishap in somebody's lab or
Right.
mixing of bloods and chemicals and shit, and now suddenly we have this virus. Do I believe that it happened in China? That ain't my business. But
Nope.
do I believe that human beings probably did a thing that they weren't supposed to do, and that ultimately landed us in a spot where like a global pandemic happens? Absolutely. I think
Tale
that's
as
a
old
real
as time.
possibility. Yes.
Yeah. That's if I have to pick one idea from this whole thing, I'm picking either old white ladies and cats or chimpanzee polio.
So just to be clear, because you were very anti-white or not white women being the type of people that would fuck animals earlier, but you're saying old white women, you're making exception. They fuck cats.
I don't think they're fucking the cats. I think they're just the shit particles are all in there.
I got you. They got all kinds of blood and stuff sort of
Yeah,
lingering.
they're touching those hairballs. Oh, it's
got
cute.
you. Listen, I think these are fair arguments. I think you've brought up some legit potential things that some of these scientists, if nothing else, need to wrestle with.
Yeah, definitely. Send it to Musk.
Yeah, you can't keep skipping this over, Elon.
No.
You gotta face it.
Yeah. Don't worry about space. We got some problems down here, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Solve things here, and then you can go to space and buy Twitter or whatever the fuck you plan to do. Well, David, we did it. I think this was a great inaugural episode for us. I think we really nailed the whole thing.
I think we really got to the bottom of some hard-hitting issues.
Fuck yeah. We're going to do this every week. This is the plan. Do you want to tell the folks where they can find you and what cool shit you have going on?
Oh, my Instagram. My Instagram is coolguyjokes87. I got rid of Twitter because I was like, I couldn't handle it during the pandemic. My Instagram, it's on there. I do stand-up comedy and stuff.
Hell yeah. Go follow David on Instagram. Go follow him on I guess just Instagram. That's it.
No, that's it.
Look at his jokes wherever you can find those. And you can always follow me at Langston Kerman, and you can send us drops. You can send us conspiracy theories. You can send us your own bullshit at mymommapod@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. Otherwise, that's it. Bye, bitch.